I woke up this morning between 5 and 6:15 a.m. and did what I've normally done for these past few months. With eyes closed, I got my kids off to school and went back to bed. However, not being able to stay in bed all day, I eventually awoke, showered, shaved, and dressed, and went to my daughter's school for her awards ceremony. The school went to a lot of trouble not to call it a graduation, something I was quite glad of because they were really only moving from one grade to the next, one school to another, and really not receiving a diploma that the world at large would account for much. However, they did walk in and out to pomp and circumstance, march number one, and receive diplomas. Afterwards, having a new camera and wanting to film a few things, I decided to take a drive downtown and walk up what in most cities would be called Main Street, but in my little town of Florence, Alabama, is named Court Street. Parking my car for my short little trip, I began to wander down the street, looking at the shops that I had never really taken the time to see. Living here these past 8 years and visiting for as long as I can remember, I was familiar with the larger landmarks and a few of the stores which I have had occasion to visit, but I still found myself drawn into the romance of the small business owner, somehow keeping his store and his dream alive amidst the giants of commercialism. Amidst these stores, I found a familiar name and something that was just too good to pass up in the shop window. I know this guy in Indiana that would just love to have it. I continued my journey, my purchase in hand, and eventually made my way down to the building which gave the street its name. Out front was a fountain that I had seen many times, but there was also a statue which I had never inspected. On it, as is common on all war memorials, it talked about the glory of the dead and how they were heroes and so on, but it did get me thinking, if only briefly, how much honor and glory could mean to a dead man. These thoughts stayed with me as I crossed the street to make my return trip when, hey, what's that? Look, it's this giant purple paw print. I don't know what kind of beast leaves that giant purple print like that, but I don't want to meet it. Continuing my walk back, I found a few more things of interest, like this shop where a sculptor sold his wares, and this ice cream store that I never knew existed but my niece told me is haunted, as well as several historical landmark signs that I've never taken the time to read. But all along the way, these purple paw prints kept popping up. Living in this town, I of course knew what the paw prints were, and following them led me to the university in my town. Seeing the university made me think of my daughter and her graduation that was not a graduation. Sometimes we need to celebrate what is behind us because those times, good or bad, have been survived by us. She is leaving elementary school and going to middle school, a new and exotic place which she knows little about, and one day she'll leave there for high school, and then she'll hopefully leave for college. She'll probably find a job and change that job several times. Viewing it like this, I begin to see life as a series of graduations, and each difficulty we overcome is a reason to rejoice. My daughter is through her latest one, and I suppose it is my job and my privilege to celebrate with her. I suppose we should celebrate as much as we can. After all, you never know when, like the Confederate dead, that she will meet an obstacle from which she will not graduate, and the well of celebrations will have run dry, and all that remains is empty words written in stone. By the way, I couldn't really make a video of my hometown without introducing to you the University of North Alabama's mascots. Please meet Una and Leo the Third.